My name is Jimmey Moore. I'm a Liverpool evacuee. I came to Much Wenlock in 1940 as a little ruffian and was astounded at the little town. Cows walking down the street with the farmer behind them. It was like coming from hell to heaven. Coming from the back streets of Liverpool, you learned how to look after yourself, and I became a flyweight champion of the town basically, and that was the first inkling to my athletic world, as it were. I wasn't a bad runner at school, but not excellent. And then it came along the London Marathons, and the first one I watched, and I was envious, I tell you. I wanted to do that. So I bought myself a pair of trainers and a tracksuit, and I ran up the road and I was completely shattered. Absolutely shattered. I was that embarrassed, I come round the back way home so nobody could see me. And she said, "You haven't been very far." Anyway, the next morning I went a little bit further and a little bit further. And I went for miles and miles. And there was such a lot to learn. How many miles? 8-minute miles, 6-minute miles. And then that was the start of my marathon career. I started running all over the country, basically. I'd done the Ironbridge half marathon, and I held the record for the veterans for 4 years, and that was running over the old Iron Bridge. Just ran everywhere that there was races on. And then I thought, now let's get abroad. And with Wenlock's Olympic Games, which inspires everybody around Wenlock as regards sport, it inspired me. And I thought I'd love to go to Athens. There was a race at Athens where you could run the original marathon. That was where the soldier brought the news from Marathon to Athens, and unfortunately he died at the end. But nevertheless, I got my entry form and I got into the Athens Marathon, and we had to run the old original course, which was hard going. A few years ago they had the Olympics at Athens, but they didn't run on the old course. Their course was all tarmac, whereas when we ran, it was all cobbles, stone, and then we finished up in Panathinaikos Stadium, which is all marble. And when we came in, I noticed that we had to run up steps. And I thought, by the time I get to those steps, they're going to look 3 foot high, not like they are now. And I was right. And eventually we got to the steps and they were 3 foot high. Although they were only a foot high, but anyway, we got up them, or I got up them, and I found out that I was 8th veteran, and I thought, get back to Much Wenlock and get some training in and see how we go from there. And I had some more marathons, different towns, and eventually I started raising money for charities, almost £40,000 in my career. One advantage for me is the training grounds in Much Wenlock. They are fantastic. We can run up Wenlock Edge and look over Wenlock Edge, beautiful scenery there, quite steep, but you get to the top and you've got a fantastic scenery once again. You can come down the country lanes, head down the bull ring, past the abbey, and you learn what bird is this and what bird is that, because you can see everything. We can go past the black and white buildings, which reminds me of my evacuee days. Head to the Windmill Hill, another reminder of the huge bonfire they made at the end of the war. And we can always remember the torchlight procession. There was no trees there then, and you could see the torchlight procession coming way up the road from right down into the heart of Much Wenlock. You've got to have hard runs, which takes everything out of you. And you've got to dig down deep, and you've got to think, Wenlock's at the top. Wenlock's at the top. You'll soon be there, you'll soon be there. Keep going, Wenlock's at the top. It must be the ideal place for every runner in the world to come. it inspires any athlete. We have a race every year, the Wenlock 7, and it gets more people each year, more athletes each year, because of the fantastic scenery we run through and head back to Much Wenlock, past the square, past the old clock, past the church, and onto the Linden Field, where William Penny Brooks had the first Olympic Games. My marathon running has taken me all over the world. Barcelona, Canary Isles, Amsterdam, and believe it or not, the Great Wall of China. A fantastic run, very, very hard. The scenery there is unbelievable, but it will never ever touch Much Wenlock scenery. It doesn't matter how far you go, you always come back.